What's good, everybody? Mr. Peters back at it again with another video talking about polynomials and the GCF with factoring. So, guys, understand that when we're talking about GCF, we're talking about factors, right? And being able to divide by the largest factor. And factors are just numbers that we could divide by. So, when we look at 12, we could divide 12 by 1 in itself, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. So we just wrote all the factors of 12. And now what we want to do is do the same thing for 27. And once I write out for 27's factors, we're going to notice that they share one. And the common factor that we have for both of these is 3. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull 3 out. What do you mean by that, Mr. Peters? We're going to divide both of those terms by 3. So when I pull out the greatest common factor of 3, we're going to have that common factor outside. And then inside the parentheses, we're going to have 4a minus 9. And understand, guys, all we did was divide. And the goal of this is just to simplify it to lower terms, right? Basically divide. And this is what I mean. Once we multiply 3 and 4a, we're going to get 12a. And once we multiply 3 and negative 9, we're going to get negative 27, which is our original problem. So just understand, factoring the GCF, guys, we're basically just simplifying. We're just dividing, okay? So let's go on to another example so you guys can see exactly what I mean. So in problem number 2, they give us 16k minus 24. So for time's sake, I'm not going to write the factors out because we know what goes into 16 and we know what goes into 24. And off the top of my head, I think the largest number that we could divide both those numbers by is going to be 8, right? So when I pull 8 out of this, from this binomial, right, I'm basically dividing. So now what's going to happen is 16k is going to turn into 2k, and then negative 24 turns into minus 3, aka negative 3, right? And if anyone is wondering about the variables, see, when we're dividing by just a number, like in these first two problems, nothing happens to the variables. They're going to stay the same. But before I go on to this last problem, if you found this quick review helpful, man, we're going to ask that you smash the like button and just leave a comment down below saying that, hey, Mr. Peters, like this video, we found it helpful. All right, so my last problem, most important one of the day, right? Let's just box this off because this was our last answer. So let's say we have a problem now, guys, where we also have to pull a greatest common factor for a variable. How do we do that? So first, let's start off with our problem. So we have 48w to the second power minus 36w. So guys, I want you to imagine, right? It's kind of like money, right? So let's just say that W2 is $2, right? We have $2. So let's underline this. We have $2 here, and then our regular W is just $1. So think about it. We're trying to divide, right? We're trying to pull something out. So in this problem, I could pull out W because both my terms have a W, right? Just like in the previous problems, we had to be able to divide both those numbers by the same factor. So let's go and break this down. So when I look at 48 and I look at 36, the largest common factor is 12. We could divide both of those by 12. So when I divide by 12, I'm going to get 4w to the second power minus 3w. Now, if you guys look, right, both of our terms have a W. That means we could pull out, well, let me stop. Both of the terms have at least one W. So that means I could pull out at least one W. So now in the next step, I'm going to rewrite my 12, and now I'm going to take a W out. But how does this change the problem? Well, this is what happened. We basically are going to have one less W for each term. So now instead of having 4W to the second power, we just have 4W, right? We took one away. And then when we go on to minus 3W, guys, we took a W away. So now our final answer is just 12W. And then inside parentheses, we're going to have 4W minus 3. So greatest common factor for you guys. I hope you found this video helpful, guys. Just remember, we're dividing by the largest common factor, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm Mr. Peters. This is Algebra 1.